going to show you how to distress furniture. I bought this stereo slash record player. It's an antique and I wanted it to look older, so I painted it first with a flat paint. That way it doesn't have a shiny gloss to it. I've already done this side. I sanded and painted a little bit to make it look older, and so I'm going to show you how to do this side. The first thing you need to know are the tools. There's two different ways to distress furniture. You can use sandpaper or a sanding block, or you can buy dark paint and light paint, kind of mix them, or just do dark paint. I do something called dry brush, where you just dip it in the paint. You wipe it on a paper towel. That way you don't have very much at all. And then you can just go over kind of rough, just kind of slap it on. And it gives you a different distressed look. You can also take sandpaper and just sand all the edges like this, and it'll start rubbing away that paint. Any kind of paint will work for distressing. I use just an acrylic paint from Walmart. It's cheap and it doesn't have to be a certain shine or coat to it. You can just, whatever you want to use, just go around all these little edges. Also, when dry brushing, you can get any style of paintbrush. I got just some cheap ones that were already kind of frayed on the end. That way it kind of spreads the paint out the best, better than just a smooth coat, because you don't want it to look too perfect. You want it to look older. And then after you do your dark paint and you keep sanding, you can go back with a little bit of white or antique white and just kind of give it another shade and just slap it on kind of rough until you get what you want it to look like. Also, over here I got it a little darker than I wanted. You can take your sandpaper and just go back over that part and rub away some of that and just lighten it up until you're happy with it. Also, this coating being a flat paint, it's easier to sand. And then once it's all finished, you can go back with an acrylic paint, like a polyurethane that has a shiny coat to it and also gives it a nice protection. That way you can set a glass on it or anything and it'll just wipe off if it has water or something on it. Distressing furniture really isn't as hard as people think it is. A lot of people tend to just go buy something that costs a lot because it has this distressed look. If you just look it up or try it yourself, it's not that difficult, and you can't really mess it up. Pretty easy, and you can always touch up if you don't like what you did. Go back and take your main color and paint over it and then start again. A lot of times people like to sand down a piece of furniture down to the bare wood and then paint it. Sometimes that's not necessary. You can just get a primer and a paint mix, paint it on, and then sand it back off. Hopefully this video is very helpful for anyone that would like to distress furniture, and it doesn't cost as much versus paying for a piece that's already finished. So hopefully everyone can learn something and can do their own furniture.